We got our ceiling up. This is just tongue and groove cedar plank from Home Depot. They sell two types. They're both the same coverage, but one is 4-foot sections and the other one is 6 or 8-foot sections, I'm not sure. But they cover the exact same area, but the longer ones are actually cheaper, about half the cost. So we elected to do that. So I hooked up this is a LED strip and it's inside of a channel. I'm waiting for another one to come from Home Depot, but this is the channel. And it just sticks up in there, and then there's a diffuser here that snaps in place so that it gives it a nice nice look. There's the light strip, and it's one big long strip, and then we're going to have another one down this side as soon as I get the other set of lights in. And we also did pucks in the middle, which are nice and bright. And then there's two in the back there, so it gives us plenty of light. Next, you've already seen this one up there. But even these strips just by themselves are pretty bright at night, especially. The diffuser, it just kind of makes it so it's not as point-like. You can still see them, but it's not as pronounced. I think it has a nice look. So the way these mount is there's a little clip like this, and that has a screw that goes in the middle, and then we did the center aisle first because that's the one that you want everything to basically base off of. Then we did two, and then I shaved off the tongue right on here with the table saw, and that allowed this to butt up right against it without having a big gap. And then did the same over on this side. Put these up into their clips, and then taped the LED light strip had a adhesive backing on it, so you just remove the paper and just push it up in there and try and keep it straight so that it looks pretty good. And then I have the connection here coming in down through the underside of this. So for the puck lights, these came in a pack of 6, and they have a little central hub, and they also came with a AC adapter. So what you can do is you can look at this description down here and see if it's providing you 12 volts. If it is, then you can just basically cut the cord off, and then use that to plug into your light hub, and then hook that directly to your DC system. So as long as the volts match 12 volts, then you can plug it. You can use their cord. So basically I just opened this up. There's like a little tab right there, and they're a black and red wire, and I just snipped them and used that for my power. Now I'm working on this area here. So we're going to put up a small cabinet here, not anything really big, but just something fairly low here. I cut a board. This is a 20-degree angle here, and that gives it kind of a straight up. And then here's my kerf bent plywood that's going to go up like this. Shaped around that, and then it follows that contour of the van there, so that'll give it a nice hide there. I still have to cut in a slot for whatever's going to store up there, and I also want to put that that plastic that I used in the back here, put that in there as well, so it kind of hides that, gives it a more finished look. It'll probably go in front of this to hold it in there so that you don't see that. This cabinet, I'm thinking maybe 80-20, just a small little cabinet, kind of along the lines of this one back here, but not as big as that one. And then we still have to finish off this column here, just cover it with something, probably just a piece of bent plywood or something. For this cabinet, I still have to make the door. I have a special design planned for this that I'll reveal when we do it. And I still have to make this one. This one's just going to be a standard door. The other issue is these drawers. We were just kind of driving along with them, and they feel like they require a lot of force to pull out. But when you're driving, it's actually surprising how easily they open. So every time we took a turn, these were like coming out. And the same with this slider back here. Every time we took a turn, this thing, even though it has quite a nice pull to it, would slide out. So we need a solution to lock this in. On this one, I'm probably going to go with something like this, just to click it in there. This one was not popping out. I think it's a little harder pull. So I may put one here, down here to keep it from popping open. This door is going to be a slam latch, just like those. And same with this one. This one's going to be a slam latch. Yeah, so I need a solution for this to make sure that that doesn't come flying out whenever we make a turn. Always designing. Okay, so here's the finished cabinet door. So I have all of the individual states and the parks, and then I have them on the map. I have them numbered accordingly. So Alaska, Park 1, that's Denali. So what we're going to do is we're going to get some stickers, and then whenever we visit a park, we'll just put a sticker over top of the number. But so we're just going to try and fulfill as many as we can with the van, and then block them out as we go. I did have one issue when I made my list. I got 2 11s on there, and I didn't notice it until it was carving the Arkansas area. But like I said, it's state dependent, so Arkansas 11, Arizona 11. Yeah, it turned out pretty good. A little bit light up here. I think I must have had like a just slight warp, but it looks good. All right, so there's the map door. Mounted up fully. And that looks pretty good. Kind of unique. So we put a door on here. That one's, I need to fix this. I don't like the way that looked. I thought it was going to be further up when it mounted, but so I think what I might do is just slice it off at an angle, and then I may use my 3D printer to print something to hide that. This upper cabinet here, we found some baskets at Home Goods that are about pretty close to the right size. They're a little longer this way, they fit just fine this way. So I may need to put something down here to prevent them from sliding out. And then our other cabinet up top here is all complete. So I also cut this slot. The way that I did it is just use a hole saw for the size of the slot that I wanted. So hole saw there, and then just draw 2 lines and then cut the rest out with a jigsaw. And then of course the cabinet. So we have 3 big bins in here that were just the right size. We velcroed some this stuff down to the surface. We're gonna have our coffee maker over here, and that'll be velcroed as well. So this stuff is really rugged, so it uses the same on both sides, and then they just click together, and it's really, you can actually hear it click when it goes in, and it holds really, really well. especially with a larger size piece. But it comes in 2 rolls. It's kind of pricey, but there's plenty of it. And it works really well. It doesn't stick well with fabric, but it sticks well to metal, and it also would stick well to this epoxy. Working on the inside door, I decided to use Critty board instead of plywood, just because it saves a little bit of weight. This stuff is actually kind of heavy. I can actually feel the difference in the door when I'm moving it. And so these are screwed in to the blocks behind that are glued to the door. I'm still not sure if that's going to work or not. Time will tell. You know, with opening and closing the door multiple times, it's a lot of vibration, so hopefully it'll hold. If not, we'll mount some wood beams all the way across and just mount it to that. But that would mean that this would have to be, part of it would have to be destroyed, so I could, because the screws are hidden behind the tile. And then I just use a roto tool to cut this circle and shape it into here. I have a ceramic tile bit blade that goes onto it. We'll probably put a little bit of gray caulk up here just to hide the edge. Make it look a little more finished. And then we just have this to do up here, this spot. I think I'm gonna do something U-shaped that kind of slips over here, and then maybe use that heavy-duty Velcro to lock it in up on this, and then that'll create a panel. My wife, she's gonna use this ceiling tile wood. We have some cutoffs that we can probably use to fill that up, and that'll make it tie in. Yeah, so pretty much almost done. We've already scheduled our first excursion. It's going to be a harvest host to a local winery. We're going to try it out for a day and make sure everything works and see if we identify any issues. These are the door locks. They work really well. We just slide into the 80/20. I did put this one back here on the lower part, and then another down here. This one I don't really have anywhere to go into this, because this is just a solid piece of 80/20, and I don't want to really drill into that. So I think what we're going to do is go into the floor. Just use one of these slider bars like this to go down into the floor. And it needs a handle too, so we can open it up. Right now I have to reach underneath here. This is our broom closet. And then we still have this area up here. We have our movie screen. I haven't figured out where to mount that yet. I'm thinking somewhere right here, and then we just use our front seats to watch the movie. We could also turn it the other way and lay in the bed this way and watch. We need something to prop up against the back doors so that we can rest our head. That looked like that would work as well. And one other thing to do is to do that back panel right under the roof there. We want to just put something there to cover, make it look a little more nice. Probably just a piece of wood scribed to that back area. Okay, so I fixed this corner. I printed this out on the 3D printer. I just made it with Fusion 360, the design of it. And so basically it's just a little flat wedge, and then it has a bracket that goes around the other side, and I can screw it into the wood there. And so it hides that ugly corner. And it looks pretty good. That's PETG. On the floor, we ran some LED strip lights all around, and they you can change the color of them. So there's red. It was pretty easy. I bought these little connectors. They were a pain in the butt, those things. I think it had to do with the tape itself for these color changing ones. It was not quite thick enough for those little adapters, and so I had to cut a small piece of plastic and put it behind the tape so that when you crimp down on it, it had enough. Otherwise it would just pull right out. So it basically was like a backer that made it a little bit stronger, or pushed it forward into the electrical connection of the clamp. These are our USB ports, and I have them on a switch so that I can turn them off so I don't have that light constantly on. For our screen, I 3D printed these little pucks, and it's a little hook that drops down, and then my screen for watching video. It has these little slots on the end there that can fit right in there like that, and then I do it on both sides, and that'll hold my screen here. I put in a couple sets of them. One over here, kind of in the back, so like if we're back there and we're looking this way, this moves it back a little bit, so you get a little bit more screen space. Not a huge amount. Again, these are PETG, and these were print in place, so the hinge and everything is printed all in one piece. Here's another set that are on the side here for like just hanging something pretty light. I mean, I wouldn't want to put too much weight on that. But yeah, I designed it in Fusion 360, including the hinge, and then it just prints all as one big piece, and you just have to break it apart a little bit, and it worked good. The only issue with printing it in place was these holes had a little bit of gunk in them, which is not a big deal. Just ran the screw in there anyway, and it worked just fine.